Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, one, one. One. So, I wanted to tell you something. Mm. When I used to, well, in the old days, well, even half year ago, I would do the same. But for the last, I would say, 20 or something years, if I would see on YouTube, let's say, some exercise that would be titled play this for 2 weeks and you will be the master of, I don't know, alternate picking, things like that. I'm not saying that the exercise could make me play as desired, but the biggest problem was that I was missing the information on how to practice the exercise. Either I thought that those people would explain me how to, practice those exercises, or it's so obvious that, well, it's definitely has to be the way that I play it, right? Because how else could someone play that? And when I had lessons with a guitar teacher, I would ask them how come it's not that easy for me to play, or it's not that comfortable. They would just tell me that I need to practice more, that I'm on a good path, I just need to practice more. So if somebody that is a guitar teacher would tell me that I'm doing good, I just need to practice more and more and more, and I'll be better, then why would I not trust them, right? And that was a mistake, because I blindly believed them, so I was just continuing practicing the way I was practicing. And I can guarantee you that if you are practicing the exercise incorrectly, then you can do more harm than anything good. And I'm just wondering, like those people that are creating that content, so are they creating this content for experts, or they are creating this content for newbies so they can learn from them and then they can become experts? Because if you're doing this for people that they are just starting with the guitar and not explaining them how you're supposed to practice, then that's the first mistake, because people might be exercising your exercises incorrectly. I know that that somebody could record the video, and on the video one could see how he moves his hand, how he keeps the pick, etc., etc. But I don't know how, what kind of IQ one would have to have in order to just spot all of that from a screen. That's difficult, I would say, or at least for me. And the biggest problem I have is that nobody is explaining how you're supposed to practice. They say just practice more, practice more. Well, clearly, if you're I have been practicing for 20 years, so after practicing 20 years and not doing any progress, clearly that means that I'm practicing maybe not the best way, if the progress is so low, So I wanted to make a video how a person is supposed to practice anything on the guitar, in my opinion. I think it does not matter if it's a song or if it's just some practice leak. All that matters is how you will treat this practice and how you will do it. So let's just say that I would like to practice this part. So 4 notes, and I would need to know, first of all, in order to practice this, because people tend to, and I also used to do that as well, that I would just say that in Guitar Pro I saw an example of a lick that would go like this, and I am good at it. I am already doing 140 BPM, but it makes no sense what I just said, because but 140 BPM of what? Are you so first we would need to know what are we practicing. Are we practicing playing, I don't know, 8th notes, quarter notes, 16th notes, triplets? And this is where the practice should start. So you should know which notes you are playing, because it does matter which notes are those. If it's 8 notes, half notes, quarter notes, etc. And let's say like the lowest resolution of the notes would be like a full note, and then it's half note. So ideally you should learn how to play half notes. Then if you're okay with playing half notes, you can then try playing quarter notes. Then if you know how to play quarter notes, then you can try to play 16th notes, and then you can learn how to play 32 notes. So that's the I would say ideal world. And I have made a mistake where I have never learned how to play 8 notes, how to divide a quarter note. And all the issues I had with playing the guitar for the next 20 something years, it's actually coming from this, that I am dividing time in incorrect moments. So if you are a person that is just starting with the guitar and you have not managed to fuck your technique like royally as I have done, then for you learning the guitar is quite simple. You just need to turn on the metronome, and every time you hear the metronome, you should hit the string. And if you will keep repeating that for like a month, then you should get hold of that rhythm, and it should get very easy from there. But if you would learn 8 notes, and those 8 notes, let's say that I have to play 5 notes, right? And you have to play them at this position, and this. Let's say that this is like a time that goes like this. Then imagine that when I play, let's say, 8 notes, every time I play 8 notes, this is shifted like this, and this is shifted like that. So if people would hear what I am playing, there is no way they could easily say that, okay, he is playing 8 notes. Because 8 notes is every nth of a second has to be played, and not nth of the second plus randomly 5 or plus randomly 15. Or what's even worse is that when you would be practicing and you're supposed to practice let's say 16 notes, and you play those 16 notes, but for some reason you play them as triplets. And I also did that to myself. So, and I believe that people that have issues with speed or with hand synchronization, things like that, that there is no such thing as hand synchronization issue is just like the outcome of a bigger problem, right? There isn't. It's not like, oh, your hands are not synchronized because, well, you were built like this. No, it's never like this. There has to be a reason for that your hands are not synchronized. And if you will be not paying attention to how you practice, then you will just make it worse constantly for yourself. So I'll show you some tiny example of 4 notes that would be 16th notes. So before, when I wanted to play those 4 notes, I would literally just play them without any thinking. No thinking at all. So I would just play them. And hoping that just one day it will just magically sound on its own. Because I would just think that if I will practice this 1 million times, I will just get better. No, that's bullshit. You will not get better if you will keep practicing the same way you have practiced until now, if you still have issues. If you would have practiced correctly, then you wouldn't be where you are right now. So, and in the very, very, very beginning, for me it was really, really, really hard to just say out loud that, okay, I don't know how to play. Maybe I was trying to learn it for 20 years, okay, but, well, it's not like I know how to do it. I still suck, and then instead of pretending that everything is fine and it will just get better because all I have to do is just practice few more years, then I don't think so. And that's because when you practice, or I can say it like this, that's because it was like that because every time when I was practicing to practice. I didn't understand why am I practicing. I mean, all I knew is that my teacher would tell me, you just need to keep practicing this. Okay. So I kept practicing it. And I was just hoping that one day I'll wake up and I will just know how to play the guitar finally. And nobody, I had, with one teacher, I had at least like 5 lessons about the metronome and how does one play with the metronome. And 5 lessons and he still has not explained me why on earth I am practicing something with the metronome. You know? And like, what's the importance of the metronome itself? His lesson about the metronome, I don't know, was like 15 seconds. It's easy, Greg. The practice will only count if you're doing it in the right direction. So you should know, first of all, you would need to know what are your current issues. So when I will be practicing today, I don't care on what I am practicing, like whether it will be to play this note and this note, or this note and this note. It's irrelevant for me. Because when I sit today to practice, and I'll be practicing this, for me, it's irrelevant whether I am practicing this here, or here, or here. But what it matters is how am I doing this practice with, and what's my goal. So I need to ask myself those questions and I need to know the answer. And if I know the answer, I will then be able to practice with a purpose. So my purpose of practicing those 4 notes is I need to learn the timings for playing 16 notes. And because I don't know, I mean, I am trying this, but I'm failing, I have noticed that actually it's not that I only have issues with playing 16 notes. I actually see that I have issues with playing 8 notes. So actually now I am playing this. Until I will feel comfortable and I know it's always on time and my hands are relaxed. I will be doing this exercise until my both hands will be relaxed and I can do it with my closed eyes and I feel the rhythm in my hands. And I'm not making what I was saying. But anyway. So now my purpose is to align the correct timing while playing 8 notes. I would say that was 80% accurate. So, okay, I'll just turn on the metronome. Okay, I set metronome to 8 notes, tempo is 50. And the most important, like the biggest mistake I was actually even doing in the beginning, was that when I thought about the metronome, I just heard this click, right? So click is, so click, click. But actually, the way how I envision that click now, it's actually not just, because one click for me, one click is actually this. So so one click is that amount of time. So from here, starting from now, and ending here, that's one click. The second click, starting from now. Third click, starting from now. And that part when you touch the string with your pick, that's actually the time when you hear the actual click in the metronome. But your playing was supposed to start earlier than that, right? Because the click is the time when the hit is supposed to occur. But you also need to pick has to travel, right, in air to hit the string, and then also has to travel after it hit it somewhere. So 2 clicks is this, 1, 2. And in order to be even, look, if I'll try to be as precise as I can, but I'll be always starting from here. So to be even, it means that you start from now, okay, from this position where my hand is, boink, and just check where my hand is right now. So it has, let's say, 10 centimeters, I don't know, let's 5 centimeters from where it is right now to the string, and 5 centimeters here. So it's 5 centimeters here, some, I don't know, like 0 point something centimeter on the string, and then you have 5 centimeters here. So all in all, like all together, that's 10 centimeters divided by a hit in the middle. That's how I understand to play with the metronome now. And to be insanely even, you're supposed to travel the same amount of, time or distance from up to the string, and the same distance from the string towards somewhere else, because when you're finishing the move. And then on your way back, you're supposed to do exactly the same. So if my pick has traveled 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, so now it's 10, and my pick has to travel on its way back exactly the same amount of distance. So 5 centimeters here, 5 centimeters here. Then again, 5 centimeters here, 5 centimeters here. Okay? But because I never actually I have never understood this, then I was playing actually like this. I'm exaggerating, of course, right now, but I'm just making my point that so play like the relaxed you are relaxed when everything is in the even, because you don't have to think much. So it's like with driving a car. If you are driving the car, shifting the gears, watching, talking, I don't know, watching what you have in front of you, watching some like a rear mirror. You're doing many things at the same time, but it's not. I mean, you can still have a conversation with your passenger. It's not that hard. But the moment you get stressed, etc., you can't do many things at the same time, right? And you'll be like, "Shut up! I'm driving. Shut up! I need to focus because otherwise I'll hit the the curb." So same here. I had a huge issue, like insanely huge issue with my hands not being relaxed, or my entire body. And actually, I suffer from a disease that is not helping you with your body relaxing at all. It's called Bechterew disease, and it's making sure I'm not that relaxed all the time. But I'm fighting with this bitch, so easy. But when you play the guitar, there is no, like, I can tell you this: if you make a practice session and your hand were not relaxed, this practice session is bullshit. It's to the bin. The way I see it, the practice session is completed when you actually did it correctly. And when you are doing it correctly, that's when your body and your brain has the chance to actually memorize this, I don't know, packet and inject that into your muscle memory and whatnot, whatever he's doing there. He, she, it, whatever. But you need to be relaxed. If you're not relaxed, then you are using like if you are not relaxed, you are tensed, then you will never be able to divide time in half. Fucking not possible if you're tensed up. You have to be relaxed in order to be able to divide in half something. If you're not relaxed, dividing something in half 100 times in a row in exactly the same way probably won't be that easy, when you're not relaxed. And when you are relaxed, then I actually never thought that it would be possible for me to play on the guitar and not keeping this part attached to the body of the guitar. I always thought that, well, that's the way to play, right? And now I actually can do this. The only reason I can do this is because I'm incredibly relaxed on my hands. And it's so easy to actually do a move with your body part that is not sequential, but it's mirror of the last move. That's what I mean. That's repetition. So the repetitions. So for example, I was never able to imagine how the people are playing tremolo, and like 4 times faster than that. I was just couldn't understand. But that's actually because they are incredibly their picking hand is incredibly relaxed, and the amount of movement is so minimized that it's possible to actually play that fast. But in order to get there to that level, you have to be even. The timing when you press, when you play 8 notes, then you have this timing. Then you divide that in half, and you have 16 notes, and it's easy to switch if it's always the same. But if you, let's say you have 100 practice session, and on every day you will be practicing it in a different manner, and actually you have not made any fucking repetition, and all you made is that you played that 1000 times in a different way, and your brain didn't have the chance actually to memorize that correctly, because you were not doing the repetition. It's not repetition when you play every time in a different way. And that's why we have those note values, because it's not just randomly. That note duration, it's not random. And if you have 4 notes like this kind, then everybody is expecting from you to play it in a specific way, so that it will sound in a specific way. Otherwise, it just feels like you are playing along, well, next to the band with a backing track, but you are just off from the backing track. So it's like 2 tracks, and they are different tracks, shifted in time, just by the little bit, but they are shifted. And what happens is that, for example, you will, so this is like a really bad loop, because if you are not doing this relaxed, evenly, etc., then every time you will be constantly hearing that you are not on time, and you want to catch up with what you're hearing. So actually, you are trying to play faster than it's actually needed. It's just you started it not in the correct moment, or actually the second hit, or that 4th hit, or I don't know, 17th hit was not in the correct moment, and since then you were trying to catch up with the missed note. And that's how you get to the problem where you can't play fast, or you have sync issues, etc. And the most important is also that you have to prepare your hands to your aim. I mean, not sure if you know who is Pudzianowski, but Pudzianowski is Mariusz Pudzianowski. He is a Polish world champion strongman. And imagine that you want to be like Mariusz Pudzianowski, and you want to go and compete with Mariusz Pudzianowski in lifting big ass balls from ground to, I don't know, to some podium here. And that one ball is like 80 kilograms, or I would say 100 kilograms. And you, after watching that YouTube movie, like, if you will be doing this for next 14 days, you will be awesome. And you are not even, you have no even fucking idea how you're supposed to touch that ball, or you're not even fucking lifting it, or if you're lifting it, you're already dropping it. You need to first prepare yourself for that kind of battle. So not being able to play standard notes, like a note, half note, quarter note, and you can't make the division without metronome, or even with the metronome. So I'll start with a quarter note. So I want to be fluent in the division, And I can practice, of course, with the metronome, and you can switch now inside the metronome to half notes, so I can train half notes now. And in the same way, you would be, because as of now, you probably you want to play, but if you are not aware like what's the condition of your hands, then actually you would need to split this exercise in half. One section for right hand and one section for left hand, and then all together. Because in the beginning you need to learn, well, you need to teach this hand to understand that rhythm, and this hand also to understand the rhythm. And if this hand can also, well, if this hand understands 8 notes, this hand understands 8 notes, then they later they need to talk to each other and understand how to play together the 8 notes. Because at the very beginning, trust me, this hand has no idea how to fucking play 8 notes, this has no idea how to play 8 notes, but by playing this all together, you think you're playing 8 notes, but trust me, you're far away from playing 8 fucking notes. You're hitting in somewhere near that, but that's not 8 notes. So, I would play 8 notes first like this. Then like this. Then like this. What would be most important for me is to try to learn with the left hand like this for all the fingers, and then the reverse, so, and then all the fingers, so, and when I'll be then trying to practice with both hands, it will be important for me to learn it to play like this, starting from the downwards pick, and then I'll do actually the same but the other way around, so starting from upwards, upwards pick. Because if you think that if you're already playing alternate, right, so you're doing like this constantly, but at least for me, I still feel insane difference when I play, when I start from this and when I start from this. It's so huge difference that with going upwards, I like 5 on 10 I will fail even with starting playing the note. And the most important is, I think, is to just to not lose the faith, you know. So you just blindly, you know, believe that this is the way. And just repeat that twice a day for 15-20 minutes. And yeah, if you will be happy after every practice that, you know, you were on time, you were checking if you were playing on time, you were checking the left hand, the right hand, that together, that's a proper practice. But all those practices that, you know, I sat with the guitar just to do this mindlessly without even checking if that's even or not even, then yeah, this was not a practice. That was not practice at all. It actually, you would be probably better off without that kind of practice, because you're just ruining it for yourself. And I have not allowed myself to admit to the failure that I can't play the guitar, because I thought, well, that's kind of ridiculous. You know, how am I supposed to explain it to my head that after 20 years I can't play the guitar? And maybe, yeah, I played in a few bands, I played a few concerts, but that doesn't mean that I can play the guitar. And it was so hard to admit that I actually have never learned that correctly. This was the hardest thing, to admit to yourself that you have no clue what you're doing with the guitar. And the saddest thing about this is that the guitar teachers that I met with, they had also they actually could play the guitar correctly, but they probably had no idea that there might be a person that can learn it incorrectly. And when some people say, yeah, you just need to keep practicing it, maybe, I'm just saying, maybe when they are telling you keep practicing, maybe they already have in mind that when I say, hey, keep practicing it, it actually means, you know, practice with left hand, with right hand, on one string, just I don't know, like 3 notes, 4 notes on one string, do the most minimal set, because the most minimalistic set you're gonna be training, then that means, sorry, you have the highest chance actually to succeed. Because if you will try learning the guitar from this, you won't learn shit. That's too much. Nobody's brain, well, I don't know, maybe there are some people that can comprehend like this, but if you're a beginner, don't have this expectation that you're supposed to fucking learn that kind of huge example in just one go. That's inhumane. And actually, there are more chances that you will learn it incorrectly, because in order just to catch up with that insane tempo, you'll be doing some weird shit on, you'll be, I don't know, just covering with distortion or with gain, or, you'll be doing this and pretend that this is fine, because you ended it, I don't know, at the same moment where the backing track ended it. It's ridiculous. I thought, in the beginning, when I was learning the tremolo picking, I thought that actually that's how everybody does that. They just do this, and nobody cares if it's even or not even. It's just supposed to, like, I thought it was like that. And to be honest, actually those guys are actually playing with 220 BPM with 16 notes, and actually they can do it while eating, lunch with left hand. So it was just me not imagining that this is actually the way to do it, and that actually it's possible. And like I listened to some teachers, which after some years I would just I would just never talk with them anymore, because this can, if you tell this to your student like this, then it's stupid. Like, in order to play fast, you need to play faster. but that the teacher has no even idea why you are playing slow. Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe because you learned the time divisions, you know, from note, half note, quarter note, etc. incorrectly, and you will be telling your guitar teacher that yes, I have practiced this week 10 hours, and he'll be like, okay, so play me. And you would play him, and he would say, yeah, that's good, practice more, practice more. Then half a year later, he will be still like, practice more, and you're still wondering, hey, how come I am not progressing? And the dude is, I mean, you trusted this dude, so you thought like he would hear that, no? I don't know. Maybe if you're like a pro guitar teacher, maybe, you know, I used to go to not the correct guitar teachers. I don't know. It's like, maybe it's same with the doctors, because, you know, a doctor is not equal to the doctor. Maybe that's the same with the guitar teachers. But an advice of just keep, I don't know, in order to play faster, that's just moronic. If you have no clue why the pupil is not able to play correctly in 60 BPM, why would you think that he would know how to play correctly in 120 BPM? It's so retarded that I have no clue how those people could come up with this kind of idea. No clue. I actually, on the other hand, was receiving some tips already when I started streaming my practices from people in the beginning, that I'm doing this incorrectly, that I should turn off the distortion, that I should slow down with my practice. And in the beginning, I thought that they are just fucking with me. But actually, that's true. You're supposed to slow down with the practice. Ideally, if you don't hear yourself properly, then turn off the gain, the distortion. But I was like this for all the time, maybe almost. That I would just turn up the gain, and that's it. That's how I would cover my mistakes. But these days, I'm proud actually that I am able to play it correctly without the distortion. So if I can play this. And whether it will be this, and I have also noticed when I started to playing without the gain, that's when it clicked for my brain that it's actually, I have mistaken the perception in the brain that I can make the sound if I will hit harder. And actually, that was not the problem why I was not able to actually spark the sound from a fret. That was because I was playing unevenly, and when you play unevenly with legato technique, then you won't be able to create that sound that easily. This is what I mean. I still need to, I have a lot of to learn in this, but I don't actually have to enable that much gain in order to play that. Of course, it's way easier to play it like this, but it also means that you are allowing yourself to actually make more mistakes, because if you have less gain, then you have to be more accurate so that it's more snappy, and that's how the sound can easier get out. I don't know how to explain this, but less accurate you are, the less sound you are generating. But that's probably due to some tensions in the string, because you are doing some trampoline, you know, so you're pressing it, and basically you have to be really accurate when you are detaching this finger and attaching this finger. So this swap has to be incredibly accurate, and then you're like, you know, those, if you can be really accurate here, that's how you get as good as those famous, you know, guitar players. That's why in my opinion they are so good. They were not cheating, you know, they learned it properly, slowly, no rush, no need to add gain. You just need to spot where is your mistake. Don't cover it. That's the biggest mistake. Don't cover things with gain. Just try to figure out what's wrong. Why does it sound bad? The practice now, how I treat the practice now, is that this is the time when I have to figure out what I am doing wrong. So if I feel not comfortable, or this hand is not, I don't know, it's, so I feel some issues on the, not on the veins. Forgot the word. Whatever. That just means that I have to double check how am I keeping my hand, because probably I'm doing something wrong. Because by default it's not supposed to be painful. So I know now, let's say that like 5-10 times during practice I will double check, because I have this tendency not to keep it like this. So I need to double check that I am pushing my elbow inside, because when you will push this elbow inside, then it is so much easier for the left hand to relax. So it's not hard for you because you're an imbecile, or you know less, or you can do less. No, it's just because you don't know it yet. Probably if there are good guitar teachers, they will just tell you straight away, hey, keep your elbow like this, tucked in. Hey, keep your hand like this, leg like this, blah 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 blah, right? But all the teachers that I met, nobody from them even told me about the posture, nobody. And I can tell you that for me it started to get easier with the guitar when I started to wondering how come my hands are so not relaxed, and I was checking my posture, I was, you know, testing, oh, what happens if I keep my hand like this, like this, like this, like that, like this. I was seriously testing lots of different stuff. And I think that this is so hard to teach guitar. It's because everybody, well, it's not like I can write you a book and I'll say, hey, do it like this and you'll be master. Actually, that the learning to play guitar is that about noticing the mistakes, and you are supposed to figure out. You're supposed to treat it like a puzzle. Oh, my hand gets stiff. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong here? Am I supposed to do something differently? Or maybe it's just like not enough muscle, you know? Or if it's so hard to play it with 150 BPM, maybe it's also hard to play it with 60 BPM. Or if you are making this lick, if this is so difficult for you, So if you do not understand this lick in 50 BPM, then when I try to play it with 100 BPM, it's even more difficult. It's not getting easier. And that's not about the speed, because it would only make sense to play it faster if it would be already easy and relaxing to play with 50. If it's not relaxing for you and easy in 50 BPM, then it won't be easier with 100. And that's only because it's not that you cannot keep up with the speed, because everybody can play as fast as he wants. It's just that it's so not even that it won't make any sense sound wise. So the whole point of playing the guitar is to make it work with sense, so that like, long story short, it's to be even. Like, you're supposed to play the music the same way as other people, and you're not supposed to play it your way. Like, your way as in, like, your notes are not, the duration of your note will be, I don't know, 25 milliseconds instead of 30. So you're not supposed to make new divisions, you're supposed to follow the old divisions. And if you are not aligned with the divisions how they are, so 8 notes, 16 notes, half notes, that's why it's so difficult. And for me, that's my example. So I am that kind of guy. And that's why I refuse now to play faster, because I have issues, like general issues with playing the notes. Not like I don't have issues with playing faster or slower. I just have general issue with playing 8 notes because I divided it incorrectly. And only then, if you're okay with this, then maybe it's the time to start adding more complex, like, to force yourself to discover new patterns and things like that. To play with more fingers, with more strings. And I was also doing the same mistake, that instead of just focusing on one string, one finger, or 2 fingers, or just maybe the picking hand, for some reason I thought if I'll add more complexity that it will be easier. No. Start with the very, very basics. Half notes. finish talking. I will now practice.